Oh, we don't have to go pledge allegiance.
I have to do roll call. We won't do pledge of allegiance since we previously have done it, but we're going to do roll call because Marissa's here. That's different.
Okay.
I'm going to read adequate notice was the whole thing anyway, just because.
That's it after the set. So it was
6:59. Oh, I'm so sorry for so much trouble. Yes, you need to know that to be a part of this. This is why we appointed you tonight. You have to do this. This one you don't have to do.
Oh, I
Brian
got mince.
and Brian. This one's done.
We had a good secretary, they bring stuff.
Linda, isn't Linda here? Why can't Linda do it?
well, she makes him sign it.
Oh, so let Linda sign it and Linda. Okay, we're going to get started.
They sit and dip.
Linda, you ready? Linda's ready. Jen, am I ready?
You want to spend any more money? We should give her $8
Yeah, no, I
I
didn't.
think a glass of water.
Just trying
Here,
to.
wait a minute, I'll split it in.
Jen, there you go.
I don't know what you did.
Okay, I'd like to call this Township of Springfield, January 2nd, 2020, 7 p.m. Planning Board to order. Adequate notice has been given in accordance with the Sunshine Law. Notice was published on December 12, 2019 in the local source and the Star Ledger, the official newspaper of the Township of Springfield for 2019, and was posted in the Annex Building, Rich, on December 13th, 2019.
Oh, it's the 13th.
So in case you didn't see it. Previous meeting, we had a reorg. Everyone saluted to the flag. So we're going to start with our regular meeting with resolutions. Everyone, in November, we had application 11-2019S, Mario Ferreira, 15 Clinton Ave, Block 802, Lot 10. This was a minor subdivision for bulk variances. If the board recalls, this application was, the board voted denied this application.
Oh, yes.
Did everyone have a chance to review the resolution?
Yes.
Any questions? So there would be a motion to approve the resolution, which is a denial. So it's still an approval of the resolution. It's not approval of the application, it's approval of the resolution. So can I entertain a
You
motion?
want to just put on the record that Melissa's here?
Yeah, no, Melissa, we had a roll call.
We did?
Yeah, we had a roll call.
No, we didn't.
Oh, we didn't? Okay. Actually, could I have a roll call, please? Then yes.
Committeeman Rich Huber,
Yes.
Mr. David Barnett,
Yes.
Mr. Andrew Schwartz is absent, Mr. Jerry Fernandez is absent, Ms. Sylviane Grisbowski is absent, Mr. Aaron Loffer.
Abstained.
Roll
No,
call.
you're here.
You're here.
I'm here, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Well, I still abstain.
Abstain from being here.
He's also,
Don't blame you. Mr. Brian Brendel,
yes.
Ms. Marissa Ruggiero.
Yes.
Mr. Scott Wishna,
Yes.
Vice Chair Sharon Kessel,
Yes.
and Chairman Jeff Tiger.
Yes.
We have a quorum.
Okay, so first I want to welcome our professionals. Thank you for enduring the planning board one more year of being our professionals. You guys did a wonderful job for us in 2019, and we only hope for greatest in 2020. Thanks, Glenn. Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Keenan. And Mr. Disco for being the assistant board secretary, the extra mile that you put in. We definitely appreciate that as well. I take every effort to remind you. So we had a resolution going back, which was application 11-2019S. This is a motion to approve the resolution, not the application.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion for the approval of resolution for application 11-2019S, Maria Ferreira, 15 Clinton Avenue.
Second.
Can we have a roll call?
Mr. Barnett?
Yes.
Committeeman Huber?
Yes.
Mr. Wishna?
Yes.
Vice Chair Kessel?
Yes.
Chairman Tiger.
Yes.
Motion to deny is approved.
Approved.
No, motion.
Yeah, motion to approve the resolution.
Deny.
Just take this to make sure, because this one needs to. The next one is application 12-2019S. This was for Jazwa Enterprises, 60 Fathom Road, Block 3803, Lot 5. This was preliminary and final site plan with bulk variances. Everyone had a chance to review the application. The resolution, any questions, concerns?
Nope.
Seeing none, can I entertain a motion?
Motion to approve resolution for application 12-2019S, Jazwan Enterprises at 60 Fathom Road.
I'll second.
We have a roll call, please.
Mr. Barnett?
Yes.
Committeeman Huber?
Yes.
Mr. Wishna?
Yes.
Vice Chair Kessel?
Yes.
Chairman Tiger.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, so we have two applications this evening. The first one is application 14-2019S. This was from last year that we carried to this meeting. It's Tesla Inc., 685 Morris Avenue, which is the Wawa site, Block 502, Lot 1. This is for preliminary and final site plan with a bulk variances. Counselor?
like the site plan here, there?
The corner so the public can see it.
Great.
And then when your witness speaks, if you could just speak into the microphone. You can talk.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Duncan Prime from the firm of Prime and Tuvel on behalf of the applicant, Tesla Inc., with reference to our application here tonight. I believe the board is very familiar with the site. It is the site of the Wawa, Super Wawa, that's under construction at the moment, located on the Morris Turnpike at the intersection of Cleveland Place and Morris Avenue, also known as Lot 502, lots 1, 2, 3, 4, 15, 16, and 17 on township tax map. Our application tonight is for minor site plan. It's very simple and straightforward. It is to install 8 electric vehicle charging stations in the existing footprint of the existing Wawa that's already been approved by this board. Along with the charging stations, charging post, 1 in each parking space, 2 supercharger cabinets, and 1 transformer pad. We're not looking to change anything else related to the Wawa. The project site meets all the area, lot width, depth requirements for the GC zone that we're located in. But again, we're making no changes to the Wawa canopy, to the existing approved convenience store, or anything else
Counselor,
Wawa
what-
related.
Yeah.
Yes, Mr. King.
What's,
Relief.
tell me about the variance.
Sure. Variance is that your code does not permit an accessory structure in this zone. We do not believe it's an accessory structure. I think it's just undefined because it's a new use. It's really an accessory use at this point. Not too different than filling up a car with gas where we're charging vehicles,
Yeah.
which was approved.
Part of our subcommittee that's going to address this in the future.
And this ordinance is similar to every other ordinance in the state. It's the reason I'm here with my reference text all over, because it's never permitted anywhere.
Okay, and let's just deal with one other issue if we can, Mr. Chairman. What about signage?
We have a rep from Tesla, and I have an engineer too to explain the signage. I think it needs some clarification based on the comments in the letters. If it's okay with the board, I'd like to introduce my Tesla rep right now and get right to it.
Yep.
I
Mr.
just
Chairman,
want-
Mr. Chairman, can I interrupt for a minute? I need to recuse myself from this application.
Because,
From this, the applicant's attorney represents a,
that's good enough.
Okay, good. Scott,
I didn't realize that.
this will be 6-7 minutes.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'd like to introduce my first witness if possible, a representative from Tesla.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that we weren't wasting any time and everybody could stay focused on the exact relief so we can just make sure that it goes forward.
Not a problem.
Reasonably
I think the science
expeditiously.
needs more clarification than anything else.
Okay,
Jesse?
you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth of the proceedings before the board tells up to God?
I do.
What's your name?
Jesse Karp,
Jess, how do you spell your last name?
K-A-R-P,
All right.
Jesse, what's your role with Tesla?
the regional deployment lead for charging,
How long have you been with the company?
5 years.
There was a question from the board attorney regarding the signage, and there are comments in both letters regarding the signage. Please, would you please say to the board?
Do you mind working further to the mic? Because people at home could potentially watch this.
Absolutely.
And I
There
want-
are signs proposed with this application. There's 1 at each parking space. Can you explain to the board what they mean and what's proposed?
Sure. It's a simple sign, non-illuminated, 12 inches by 18. Its purpose is really to define that stall as having Tesla charging available to it. We have a breakdown of 6 signs that allow all-purpose use of those stalls, and 2 signs that are dedicated specifically for Teslas to use. We don't police it, but it gives some indication that these 2 stalls should be made available to Teslas, others are for general use.
And when you say Tesla versus general use, you don't mean other electric vehicle charging, correct?
Correct. These charge posts only work with Teslas.
So that's why it's important to be Tesla written on the sign. Is that correct?
Yeah, there are other operators out there. There's other EV standards. The signage is a means to educate the public that these are for Teslas.
But actually, there are 2 signs on each spot, right?
Yeah.
There's a freestanding sign on a post, and then there's actually a Tesla sign on the charging.
This was what was taken from the Wawa.
Yeah, there is a softly backlit illuminated Tesla logo on the charge post. The sign gives reference that is a Tesla charging stall. It also breaks down the enables versus
That's two signs, and depends upon what those guys, I just want to get the record clear,
Clear.
so we don't have to go back and have do-overs.
Totally fine. And real quick, can you explain to the board the difference between dedicated and the general one? So that means dedicated means Tesla charging only. The other 6 can a Wawa customer parking in this space?
Yeah. The other 6 are enabled for all Wawa customers to park there. The idea with 2 dedicated is that if you're on a road trip, or you're a local user of the station, you want to have at least a basic comfort that there's going to be 2 stalls available for your use.
Yeah, but I can park in the Tesla one and not charge, right?
Correct.
In the 6.
In the 6.
No, wait a minute.
Yes.
The 2 spots for, this says Tesla there, but I don't have a Tesla. I can go park there, can't I?
You could. You're not going to get ticketed. We don't
No.
police it, but it is.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but I mean, I just want everybody to understand. Anybody can park there, but it only can charge your cars.
Correct.
The other ones charge all the rest.
Sorry?
The other 6, or whatever it is, can charge any car.
No. The Tesla charge post, it's only compatible with the Tesla vehicle. The station's only for Teslas, but anyone could park.
No, wait. All
These 8 spaces can only charge Tesla vehicles.
right. The 2 can only charge Tesla.
All 8.
8? So in other words, if I have a General Motor car, I can't charge there.
No, Tesla only.
They have enough, Rich, they have enough parking spots to be able to do this without needing a variance. Anyway, they need a variance because of the structure that maybe our code hasn't evolved
Yeah,
to
but
include.
the thing I have is, suppose General Motor comes next week, and this guy comes next week, then we'll have all over.
Well, sure, but that's for Wawa. That's for Wawa to decide. They've chosen Tesla. Other places, I was at a shopping center in Florida that has Tesla only in their shopping center. It's where they go to lease spots. Our code right now doesn't include something like this. We, as the board, hasn't envisioned that. That's what our subcommittee will look to try to make some uniformity with Mr. Disco.
So I think to wrap up Mr. Keen's comment, we are seeking a variance for accessory structure and for 2 signs, or multiple signs in 1 parking space, I guess.
That's fine.
That
We'll
would be
ask
the
Mike
nature-
to-
That would be the nature of the movie.
We'll ask Mike Mr. Disco to tell us what's appropriate. Anything further from this witness?
Well, I have you up, Jesse, would you just very quickly, I know we're in a bit of a hurry here, explain to the board that, say I'm in my Tesla, I'm on the highway, I need a charge, just walk me through very briefly when you pull in to when you're done charging. Very brief synopsis, how it works.
Yeah, this location puts Springfield on the map, which is available on the car. If you're planning a trip, and you need to charge, this will direct you to the Wawa. It'll tell you how many of these stalls are currently charging or free. You'll pull in, you'll back up into one of these stalls, you'll plug in. With low battery, you could get 75 miles in 5 minutes put on this car. This is our new V3 technology, 250 kilowatts, the fastest charging available. The idea being on a long distance trip, you stop here, you plug in, you get a bite to eat, use the restroom, in 10-15 minutes you're on your way. You've had the opportunity to patron the establishment, follow up, stretch your legs. It's not exclusive to long distance travel, local users can use it as well, but primarily we set these up strategically to allow long distance travel. This is a perfect location along 78, it's 24. Be a great spot.
How long will it take to charge you all the way up? In other words,
So the charging profile is very rapid at a low battery discharge. It diminishes. Full charge may take you 45 minutes to an hour.
It's a big cup of coffees.
Typically, though, you're not going to need a full charge. You're going to need 150, 200 miles to put on the car. You'll go on your way to the next stop. The idea, the main use case here is you charge at home, you plug in, you have a full tank every day. It's on that long road trip. Every 2-3 hours you use.
Do you have anything further? I just have one question.
No, I don't further explain.
So why this site? We're going to grant a variance. Like, is there any in Short Hills? Is there any in Millburn? Is there any in Westfield? Like,
Sure. I mean,
is the
number-
geographical location of the site?
Geography is huge. Partnership with Wawa is huge. We have probably 20 to 25 sites with them at various stages. I think 18 of them are open. It's a great kind of symbiotic relationship. They have amenity that's open 24 hours. It's safe, it's well lit, food, bathrooms. So amenity, geography are the big winners for us. And ideally, we were here a few months prior, 6 months, a year prior, we'd be integrated into the full site plan, but timing is also important here. We're trying to get in while they're still in construction, so we can use it.
Makes sense. Anything further?
No,
Anything
I have one more witness, all right?
1 second, anything from the board?
I have a question. Do you have, will it require any additional lighting than what has already been approved?
Nope, the existing light standards won't need to be relocated.
Okay.
One question for me, sorry.
Yeah.
Do these stations make a lot of noise when you're charging? Do they make any noise when you're charging?
They don't make any noise. The vehicle has an internal cooling fan that sometimes kicks on when it's charging at a high rate. The charge cabinet does have a coolant fan on top that vents to the sky. I could share the specs, but it's not.
There's no residential anywhere near this. It's all
There's residential right next to it.
To the east,
to the east, but
we heavily buffered that with the landscape.
yeah, so we're good. Okay. Anything further from the board? Mr. Keenan? Mr. Hughes?
The only question I had was, I know you mentioned the illuminated Tesla logo on each of the charge posts. Is that double-sided, that it's on both sides of the charge post? Okay, so those would be visible from Morris Avenue, presumably. And I would say just, I think to be conservative, I would encourage the board to deem these as signs, just because with other commercial applications, sometimes you get in a situation, gas station, convenience store, where the logos end up on a number of different things on the site. I think to maintain some control over that, I think it's good practice to consider those logos as signs.
Yeah, makes sense, because then we'd specific just for this, so if this ever goes away, it's not something that they can use for something else. Anything further?
The only.
I mean, you went out to wash,
Yeah.
to...
It's not
Bridge.
intuitive to me that I could have parked there in the ones that are identified as a Tesla 15-minute. So,
Would you recommend anything? I mean, they have plenty of parking, correct? I think.
We do.
more than
34.
what is required, that's right. So it's not an issue from that standpoint, obviously going forward in other locations it might. Very often there's a sign at the limit of parking things with an arrow in that direction. So you could take the 6 and make it 2 Teslas with arrows in between them. I'm just trying to think of a way. I did not realize when I would park there that I could have parked there on a non-electric vehicle charging station. So to me, the first time you come up to this, you're not going to know that. I understand they're not going to ticket and all that, but what Mr. Huber was picking up on is it's not intuitive. When you see that sign that says Tesla, if you're a non-electric vehicle, you're not going to opt to park there.
So what if the board gave you the ability to work together to come up with something to...
Yeah, I would ask also if they've encountered this elsewhere.
Yeah, and be a sign catalog, you can work with it.
So would the board have any concern with letting Mr. Disco work that out with?
No, I don't know if that's,
Fine. So I think that's a very good question, a good concern. So we'll as part of, if the board acts favorably, part of the resolution would be to have resolve that. Okay, we're going to go to your next witness, then we'll open up from the public.
Yeah, this is my last witness.
Briefly.
Is this on? It's on.
Go ahead, Pete.
Yeah.
Where are you in?
Swear him in.
Sir, do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth that proceeding before the board tonight, so help you God?
I do.
What would your name be?
Peter McCabe with Dewberry Engineering,
Peter, how you spell your last name?
MCCABE.
Capital C on the second one?
Capital C, please.
Don't try and trick me.
Can you tell us?
You're a licensed professional engineer in the state of New Jersey?
I am.
And how
I'm
long?
qualified for various boards throughout the state of New Jersey, been practicing for 29 years.
And you regularly prepare applications, and your license is valid as of tonight?
Yes, it is.
And are you also a professional planner?
I am not.
I do not have any professional planner for tonight. I do not think the variance is rose to that level.
Counsel, that wasn't a criticism. I just wanted to see what you brought to the table.
I have no problem making this guy an expert witness. You guys have any concerns?
This guy or Peter?
Peter. You're our expert. You're our expert.
This guy, Peter.
Any concerns with making him an expert witness? No. Go ahead. Proceed briefly.
So I can just very briefly describe the site between Morris Turnpike, Morris Avenue, as we said, the Wawa site. So this is the aerial showing the existing conditions prior to the construction.
What exhibit is that? Is that in the plans?
The first thing I referred to was just part of the set of plans. It was Z1, and what we're looking at now is Z3. No modifications, so it doesn't really need to be marked as an exhibit.
Perfect.
But for just purposes of this discussion, this is the site on this Z3 site plan, and the the Tesla installations going on the south side along Morris Avenue has been discussed, 8 spaces. There's a dumpster enclosure. In fact, if you drive by there on your way home from the meeting, you'll see that the dumpster enclosure is constructed. That's where the equipment is going to be mounted to the back of. And then there's, between that dumpster enclosure and the sidewalk along Morris Avenue is where the transformer will go. And each of the 8 spaces has a charging station and the sign that we've discussed. There's no new lighting being proposed, and the only other item of discussion was the proximity to the light poles, but that we've determined is really not an issue.
Pete, I made a representation that the Wawa portion of this remains unchanged. Is that correct? There's no changes to the Wawa canopy or convenience store required of this application. Is that correct?
That's correct. The other issue is the trees that are going to be put around the installation, and I believe that the number didn't change, just the orientation of them.
So do you think it's adequate, the trees, for any buffering and screening that's there?
Yes, the only issue that came up in the review letter by Mr. Disco was the fact that the transformer is visible from the roadway, but that's an access issue from the utility company. So we're using the screening that we have available, or to the best of our ability, to screen the installation.
Do you think any additional,
Right, while still allowing
do
access.
you think proposing any additional screening in this area would be prudent, or you feel that the screening's correct? I'm going to ask that.
I think what's proposed is adequate, and there's flexibility of where to put it, but I think what's there does the job.
Anything further?
Nothing further.
Any members? I'll start with you, Aaron. You go first. You're a new member. Any questions?
No, I have no questions at this time.
Marissa?
Is this similar to the way that the Teslas are at the other Wawas that I've seen in Parsippany?
Very similar.
Very similar. The one in Parsippany is the one I'm familiar with. How does it vary from that one?
The layout's going to be the same. The only difference is Parsippany is built on our V2 platform. Has a max charge rate of 150 kilowatts. This is our new V3, 250 kilowatts per charge. So it's going to be a faster charge rate, more throughput.
Okay, but that doesn't impact anything in terms of like physical.
Not going to look different to the eye, I don't think.
Okay.
Mr. Huber?
No, it's just my concern. I mean, I think I don't know, I think it's a lot of stations, but that's my opinion.
Can you let us know how many spots you have, the engineer, how many spots are on the charge, how many parking spots versus charging stations?
There's 50 parking spaces. We're using 8 of them for this.
So roughly 18, 17%.
To give some context, the build out is not because they're going to be full right now. I mean, we build this for the future. We also build for peak periods of travel. So on, Friday before a holiday weekend, you might get a surge in more spots of use, but the idea is that they're there. We're building this for.
How do they pay? They put a credit card in there?
It's free.
It's all done in the back end. There's no point of sale on the machine, but when you plug your vehicle in,
they're charging you.
Your credit card.
Yeah, okay.
Everything's free.
Some vehicles don't pay. Some of them have like a sign-on bonus.
Yeah.
And to alleviate your concern, Mr. Disco is going to work with their professionals to make sure that the signage is proper to be able to at least tell people that 6 out of the 8 you can use them.
That's plenty, they have plenty of spaces up there. 6 or 8.
I think they were required to have 34, if I'm not mistaken, it's in my review. They provided 50. Even back 2 years ago, we commented that they were excessive in the parking. Maybe they were thinking, I don't know.
I'm just concerned to make sure there's enough parking.
It's the 10.5 hour parking spot. That way it self-regulates itself. You don't have to worry about that.
We build a wallet or it's going away.
Yeah, I see it's in the back.
It just gets everybody's attention. I'm thinking 2 years, 3 years down the road, when you have a whole lot of people.
I'll propose it. David, any questions?
I don't have any questions. I think this is great. I think this is terrific for our town. It's a new technology. I think it's a marquee name we have. I have no issues with the amount of parking spots. You could argue this is the back of the property. It is along Morris Avenue, not Morris Turnpike. So to be clear, I think it sends a great message to people coming through Springfield that we're this forward thinking and accommodating electric vehicles. So Thank you. Certainly, if you guys want to work out whatever the sign says, but I think it's great, and I think it's an asset to our town.
Ms. Castle?
No questions.
Mr. Brendel? No. All right, we can discuss potentially, I mean, I'll ask our professionals do you think we should put a time limit on the spaces?
My thought was if you put a time limit on for the future, you don't even have to ever revisit it again. It's like a 30-minute parking spot. You put 30 minutes on, it's a Wawa anyway, so nobody's going to get in there hogging it, so that when it really, really takes off and gets really busy, because everybody's using the electronic stuff, the electric stuff.
Why even worry about that?
Yeah.
This is Wawa's business, it's Tesla's business.
It wasn't a concern as much as you have 8 parking spaces. That's all I was trying to
They have so many parking spots,
that's fine.
I think this is future-proof enough.
Yeah.
And maybe they tweak the language of the sign, so
we'll
if all of these other spots are full and if the place is completely packed and someone does have a Tesla, they can know they can park there. If they want to tweak the language a bit, if that even is an issue, I think we're splitting hairs on that.
There's also an idle fee when a car is fully charged, it starts charging the customer, so there's incentive.
Really?
Yeah.
Done.
So
Tesla already fixed it.
Tesla's thought of this all. They're very good at this.
All right, perfect. Anything further from this witness?
No, what Keenan brought up, I don't know if you really need the 8 extra signs on Morris Avenue. As I understand it, nobody's really passerby pulling in, seeing a Tesla sign and pulling in. It's all usually figured out way in advance.
We'll leave you to work that out.
I'm not trying to take away their branding, but to get 8 less signs.
We'll work out the signs today. We need approval to put them there.
Yeah. So,
And it's important to have the Tesla sign set up.
yeah, no, I think, I'm good with putting the Tesla sign as far as the wording of it with, who parks here, the 6 versus the 8, the arrows potentially to do. I think that would be the case.
Fine.
Okay, if you don't have anything further, I'm open up to the public. Any members of the public that wish to speak on the Tesla application? Don't run up all at once. Absolutely. I guess you're wearing a jacket, so you get to come first.
Nice jacket.
My name is Richard Brockbart. I live in Short Hills. I'm a Tesla Model S owner, 2 years old.
Not yet.
Oh, you have to raise your right hand, sorry.
Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth proceedings before the board tonight? Richard, what was your last name?
RODBART, Brockbart.
What's your address?
26 Pine Terrace West, Short Hills.
Thank you, sir.
I'm excited at Tesla's application. That's why I'm here tonight. I'm very hopeful that the board will approve the application. The Tesla charging system, unless I need to be corrected, and I've used it before in various locations, each of the charging stations has 2 connectors for an A car and a B car. Is that correct, sir?
That's correct on the B2, but our B3 actually is 4.
Wow, this is new technology.
And as the gentleman said, there is a time limit. If your car is virtually fully charged and you stay there longer, Tesla is eventually going to charge you for that extra time, and there's an incentive, therefore, for people to get in the spot, do what they've got to do, and leave. I think this is a great idea, and I think it also is a benefit to Springfield, to the whole neighborhood. Cars that pull in will not just pull in to charge. I intend to go in there, and I pull in to shop at Bed Bath & Beyond, at the ShopRite. I don't think I'd be doing anything at Firestone with a Tesla, because the Tesla doesn't need that type of... like I say, I'm very excited, I'm enthused, and the fellow Tesla owners that are in the neighborhood that I've spoken to are also excited by this. I think it's a worthwhile endeavor.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other members of the public wish to speak on this application? Seeing none, I'm going to close this portion to the public and open up to the board to discuss.
Just ask, what sign variance relief are you guys recommending that the board consider granting?
Number of ground signs.
So we have, is it
Thanks, Mike.
2 times 8?
You're adding 24, I guess.
Yeah.
Technically on this, over and above what was there before, which was a variance in and of itself at that.
Can you just help me get to the 24? Because I'm not there.
On the charging structure, there's 1 on each side, so there's 8
so it's double. Okay, now I got it. Okay.
plus the signs.
Okay, perfect. I get that. You good with it?
I am.
So any questions? Can I entertain a motion to approve application 14-, 2019S for a variance for signage of charging stations. What was the number? 20.
24.
24, for 24 additional signs.
And minor, and waiver, or minor site plan.
And minor site plan.
Chairman, I'd like to make a motion for approval of application 14-2019S for Tesla Inc. at 685 Morris Turnpike, the Wawa site, for preliminary and final site plan, bulk variances as stated by you, attorney, just now.
I'll second, because I think it's a great idea.
Accessory structure.
Was he okay with, did you put in it?
Do we have to do with an accessory structure? Okay, so add into your motion or amend it to include for the accessory structure of the 8 charging stations, right?
The application to include the 8 accessory structures as shown in the exhibits.
I second, again. Can I have roll call?
Mr. Barnett?
Yes.
Chairman Kiger?
Yes.
Committeeman Huber?
Yes.
Mr. Lawfer?
Yes.
Mr. Brendel?
Yes.
Ms. Ruggiero?
Yes.
And Vice Chair Kessel?
Yes.
Motion passes.
So given that you are trying to get in right away and do the electricity and with everything underground, does the board have any concern with waiving resolution? We'll adopt the resolution at the next meeting, but it allows you to move ahead at your own risk.
That would be wonderful if they'll allow that.
Do our professionals have any questions?
No, the site is nowhere near completion, so it's not like these
Yeah.
would be installed in the next 30 days.
Okay, but until the signage, I just want to put on the record, until the signage gets resolved, it would hold up Wawa's certificate to go in. So that will be in the resolution too.
Counselor, did you submit to the county?
We submitted for a waiver.
Okay, you did?
We did.
Yeah. I would have submitted it for informational purposes only, because I don't think they have any jurisdiction.
If they assert jurisdiction, I'll
Good.
let you know.
No, it's those boys now.
Perfect.
Time to do.
Thank you very
And
much.
the other thing is, you're going to provide us a copy of the transcripts so that we don't have to do minutes.
I will do it.
I thought so.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Happy New Year.
Before we take the next
I
application,
want to go over the secretary's job again.
yeah, Mike, this is one of the issues to kind of review with the board. We put a subcommittee for ordinances. This is one of the things where maybe we include this in there. Maybe not the signage, but these types of things in there to review.
Yeah,
Do you check with Mountainside or
I
another?
got a copy of a neighboring one, so it's, I did go to the League of Municipalities, not 1 month ago, but a year ago in a month, and I went to 2 of these sessions, and there are a lot of ordinances out there now, which
Yeah.
is good. One of the problems was, unlike this site where you don't have enough parking
yeah, yeah.
site, it's problematic.
Yeah.
But that's not the case here.
So we'll leave it, some of the big shopping centers, 22 can come with it, but we'll leave it to you to do. Okay, next application. The next application is a carryover from our November meeting. It was application 11-2015S, which is an application that we're amending the approval from the last one. It's Morris and Central LLC, 259-279 Morris Avenue, 7-9 Caldwell Place, 14-28 Center Street, Block 706, Lot it's 1017 for final site plan and redevelopment of the project. Yeah, so, Counselor, just to give you some thought process, I'm going to have you guys put like 10 or 15 minutes of testimony on. Our bid representative's there. I'm going to call the bid representative as a witness, kind of talk through some of the things that you guys put through, and you kind of joint with your planner talk about with ours what you included and what you didn't. Sure, is that okay? Sure. So, where's Ken? Ken? So, for the board's perspective, before we have this application, the application's going to come up, but the bid sent us in a letter with lots of questions, concerns, and so forth. That was in October. We forwarded those questions and concerns to the applicant. The applicant had an opportunity to include those in there, and from what my planner tells me, they did include it. So the bid's going to take us through some of the questions and concerns, and then our planner will work with them on some of the answers, and then the applicant will respond. Because I think they included, Keenan, about 80%, a lot of them. Keenan.
Yeah, roughly. He wants to use our elevation, so give us a second.
Cool.
Yeah,
it's easier sometimes to point.
Let him just swear you in and state your name for the record.
You swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth proceedings before the board tonight to help you God?
Yes.
What is your name, sir?
Kenneth Ruskin, Gruskin.
And you're here to testify in what capacity?
I'm here as a property owner in the downtown, as well as a member of the Springfield Bid.
As well as what?
A member of the Springfield Business Improvement District.
Okay.
So, one of the things that, obviously, when the bid was created many, many years ago, in order to kind of create uniformity with some of the developments that have come up, especially in the downtown. Bid's done wonderful things all throughout Mountain Avenue. We wanted to kind of get your feedback so that way the developer can kind of design this site so there's more uniformity with all the redevelopment that comes up. I think the mayor is a big fan of that.
Yes.
Yes.
So I just want to start that, in the big picture, the bid supports the project, and I'm glad to see it moving, and it's exciting, and it's going to be a great project that helps re-energize and transform certainly the downtown Morris, Avenue area. We did take some time to really look at the original plans, and we did take a little time this afternoon to look at the revised plans. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to modify some of the things in the letter. Like if they've addressed some things, I'm not going to waste my time talking about it. You've got other things to focus on. But I wanted to start with some general comments.
Can I interrupt for 1 second? Sorry. Let the record reflect Mr. Wishna joined for this application. Sorry.
Okay. So some of these I'll have questions because I can't tell for responses, and I'm not sure if it makes sense in terms of the dialogue, if they want to respond or if they want to track all the questions and add them at the end. How we go.
I'd love to respond in real time. I think that makes life easier.
Absolutely.
I can swear in my architect and my engineer. Be happy.
Weren't they sworn in before?
They haven't.
Do you want to re-swear them in, or they don't need
I
to?
want to remind them.
Come on, first.
Gentlemen, state your name for the wait. You settle in. This is the most important person. Not yet.
Yeah, Jen's biggest friend.
It's all about Jen. It's not about you.
6 years.
What is your name, sir?
Noel Musial Jr. Christian Cueto.
Okay, gentlemen, you both were here and you both have testified in a previous hearing. And you remember that you
My associate was, but I have been before this board.
I don't think either one of these gentlemen testified.
I didn't think they had.
Really?
You look new.
Christian's testified in the original application, not this application.
Now, let's just re-swear them all in again. Go ahead, Glenn.
You both swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth in proceedings before the board tonight. Help you God. What is your name, sir?
Noel Musial Jr.
And you're a licensed what now?
I'm a licensed architect.
And you're accepted as a licensed architect before this board on other occasions?
No.
All right, let's qualify you then. Where were you educated?
Rhode Island School of Design?
And you have a license?
I do.
And it's valid as of tonight? And what do you do when you practice with Pop?
What do I do? I design and construct buildings.
And you have been accepted as a licensed professional architect in the state of New Jersey before other boards?
I see
Everybody
no
okay?
concerns with them. Any questions? Okay, you're good. Next victim.
Sir, what is your name?
Christian Cueto, C-U-E-T-O.
Christian with a K or a C?
Sorry?
First name.
Christian with a C, C-H-R-I-S-T.
Thank you. There's all kinds of ways of doing it. And you're a licensed what, Christian?
I'm a licensed professional engineer. I've been practicing for over 12 years. Graduated from GIT. My license is in good standing. I've been before local boards. I sit on the board in Kenilworth.
Kenilworth. And by whom are you employed?
I am employed with Harbor Consultants Incorporated in Canterbury.
Okay, and you regularly prepare applications, you regularly appear before boards. And your license is valid as of tonight?
Yes.
So you're the planner, the township planner?
Yeah.
No, engineer.
Engineer. Not a conflict?
Is there conflict?
You're here as a planner?
Kenilworth.
I'm here as the engineer.
Yeah, but is that a...
Your firm is,
Your firm is our township planner now.
Yes.
And now our conflict.
And now our conflict,
That doesn't go.
yeah.
It didn't work. It's the same problem that Schroeder Palmer ran into 15 years ago.
That ain't gonna work.
You know what? We can get around that. You can be a witness. You just have a architectural degree? No?
I do not.
I'm sure Mr. Disco can address the issues.
Yeah, I know.
They're very narrow issues.
My suggestion is that I think it would not be a good idea.
Yeah.
For
You're
some-
what are you, the town?
He's our township thing.
He's our township engineer.
Your firm is.
Firm is.
It's an automatic.
And
Yeah.
his firm is our conflict engineer.
And our conflict engineer that we just appointed as the board. So,
You're not being sworn in. Take a seat. Enjoy the night.
okay, so I don't know how we proceed because with this, right?
Mr. Disco.
Let's see where we get.
Let's see where we get. I think we'll be fine. We have two very narrow issues. We've already discussed with Mr. Disco on numerous occasions. I'm sure whatever he says, you guys will listen to anyway. So I'm comfortable with his testimony.
That's the
You just brought up a good point. Were you guys, this is opening night, were you guys sworn in
No.
at all? All right, would you both please stand?
Oh, Tesla's got.
Welcome to opening night in
Make it
January.
retroactive to Tesla.
Yeah, retroactive to Tesla.
We didn't really need him. We didn't need him for Tesla. Do you both swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth in proceedings before the board, not only tonight, but for the remainder of the calendar year?
Yes.
Okay, and just identify yourself, starting with the gentleman to my left.
Keenan Hughes, H-E-G-H-S.
And Keenan, you've been hired as the board's licensed professional planner for the year, is that correct?
That's correct.
And I am Michael Disco.
And our board secretary. Assistant secretary.
Let's get to the meat of it, though. And you're also the board engineer, is that right?
Yes.
In my opinion, I think by doing this, and Jen, let's make sure we make a note of this in the minutes, that they have been sworn in, and you've been sworn in for the year, so I don't have to requalify you each time. The board hired you, that's it, but it's in the record as part of the reorganization. Okay, guys, thanks.
Perfect.
You know, we're almost up to you.
Okay.
Little did you know.
It's not my first time, so I come forward.
We're all set.
And I'm confident the architecture will answer questions that I'm presenting, certainly. So, as we said, we, generally
You
support.
gotta use the microphone,
You
please.
gotta use the mic.
You carry it around with you.
Let's wait. Oh, it is. It's got a very long cord here. But at least it'll be able to pick you up.
Your secretary would have it done already.
That's it hard to
Thank you.
Hold on 1 second, because you're probably going to refer to the exhibits. So let's just.
Are these marked?
Well, I want to find out what we're doing before you start, so that once you get started, maybe tonight, we can go from beginning to end. So, Al?
You want to stand over there? I'll stand over here. It's up to you.
I'll
It's
come
up,
back.
it's up to you. However you want to do it.
I'll move once you mark them in.
I can definitely mark these. The last one we had at our previous meeting was A4, so I'm going to mark this as A5.
Well, hold on, don't bring it on the record. Can we take a quick second? I don't know, I think we should take a 5 minute.
Yeah, I'm gonna just take a 5-minute recess.
And I want Michael with me.
Yeah, Mike. And Keith, you go off the Yeah, we're gonna go off the record for 5 minutes.
Conflict attorney and
And
town.
and the township.
I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to go answer all of it.
Yeah, anyone can